has been quite a week on Capitol Hill. Two surprising losses for House Republicans, a failed vote to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, and failure to pass a standalone Israel funding bill.
And over in the Senate, a bipartisan border deal unable to garner enough votes following former President Trump's outspoken disapproval. And joining us now is the ranking member of the House Armed Services Committee and representative of the state of Washington there, Washington's 9th District, Congressman Adam Smith. Good to see you, and thanks for being on.
All right, great to see you as well.
All right, so we talked about it. The House failed to impeach Secretary Mayorkas. Do you expect to see a second impeachment vote?
Well, they're going to try. I mean, it's a sideshow to actually dealing with the issue, which is the most important part of this. I mean, Secretary Mayorkas has done nothing that is impeachable. They just don't like his policies, so they're doing that instead of actually addressing the border. We have a bipartisan agreement that was put together that could actually help us, that they're ignoring in favor of the partisan stunt of impeachment. Yeah, they're going to try it again. I mean, it's a narrow majority, so it really comes down to who's sick, who's out for the day, how do they make that work. I just wish they would put that aside.
Let's talk about that bipartisan border deal that you mentioned. It was blocked in the Senate after former President Trump spoke out against it. Were you surprised by any of this?
No, and also keep in mind, President Trump was against it before he even knew what was in it. It was the basic idea that he and the extreme right-wing Republicans oppose any agreement because it might make President Biden look good in an election year, which is not addressing the border crisis. So, not surprised by that. The other thing that I hope people understand, there is no fix for the border. You're not going to pass a piece of legislation that's suddenly going to stop all migration, but this bill could get it down to a more manageable level in a sensible way.
You voted against the standalone funding bill for Israel. Why?
Because it abandons Ukraine. At the end of the day, we need to have a comprehensive national security policy. And for, 3 or 4 months now, we've been asking for a vote on a supplemental for Ukraine. I am not opposed to dividing it out. I mean, if you can put it all together in one bill, Ukraine, border, Israel, Taiwan, fine. If you can do it separately, fine. What I'm opposed to is not giving us a vote on Ukraine. And if you sent Israel off without Ukraine, that just reinforces the possibility of, well, the House Republicans doing what they've said they're going to do, which is not give us a vote on Ukraine. Give us a vote on Ukraine, and I'm happy to take the votes on Israel and the other issues as well.
The Senate Majority Leader, Chuck Schumer, says, this is a quote from him, "The House is in chaos." Do you agree with that statement?
Well, democracy is always messy. So there's a part of me that's reluctant because sometimes people say, oh, it's chaotic because you can't agree on it. I mean, to some degree, that is democracy. Democracy is trying to include a whole bunch of voices. It's always a lot easier if you're just in charge. You can say, we're doing this, and you got to live with it. In a democracy, you got to take into account a bunch of different voices, and that can look like chaos. In this particular case, I think we sort of crossed over that line, and the House has, found it very, very difficult to function. There's no doubt.
All right, let's switch gears. You're an author as well, aside from being a leader. You wrote a book called Lost and Broken, and you talk about your battle with chronic pain and anxiety. Did you write it just for yourself or for everyone else to try and help?
I wrote it to bring attention to the issue, but also it was very cathartic for me as well. I went through, well, it was a lifetime struggle, but the battle was really 6 years from 2013 to 2019 when I had uncontrollable anxiety and chronic pain that I could not control. And I went to, 100 different therapists of one kind or another trying to find a solution. But eventually I did. I found a psychologist. I did 3.5 years worth of psychotherapy, which really helped me with the anxiety. And I found a muscle activation therapist who helped me with the physical side. So I wrote it to help people similarly struggling understand better how to find a path.
Lost and Broken is available now everywhere books are sold. Congressman Adam Smith, thank you so much for being here again.
Thank you.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.